तमाम साथियों को एक बार फिर या अली मदद। इन्होंने एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत मानी खेज सवाल पूछा है कि हमने एक आयत का रेफरेंस देते हुए ये कहा था कि रूहें जो है वो 50,000 साल में या 50,000 साल का सफ़र करते हुए अपने मंजिल पे पहुंचती है। So she asked a question, if it takes that long, and then what about all those family members or the other Ismailis or other people who has passed away? Is there anything we can do for them, or how can we help them from this side? So let's talk about that 50,000 years first. When we say it will take 50,000 years, it's only if we do not work hard, meaning if a moment wants, he can elevate him or herself within a short life that we have on this earth. One can reach all the way to Fanafi Allah, ya Fanafi Imam, within this life. And for them, all those 50,000 years, they are done. Meaning they do not have to wait for 50,000 years. 50,000 years are for those who either completely denied the Imam's Farman, Ibadat, good deeds, and everything that they were supposed to be doing in this life. When they refuse to do it, there is a small part of a ayat which says willingly and unwillingly, tahan wa karan. When they were not willingly wanted to return back to Allah, then unwillingly they will have to do it, and that time period is a long time period. An example of that is the 50,000 years. So let's talk about those mu'mineen who does everything they're supposed to do, follow the Imam's farman. And here the key is to follow the Imam's farman, because without the Imam's farman or his guidance or his Isme Azam, one cannot elevate himself to the highest level possible. So when Mu'min stay on the right path, he can reach that level fairly quickly, meaning it should not even take him 100 years, it should not even take him 40 years, or all those numbers that we've been listening. They can reach to their level within 40 days. That is a very short period of time in our lifetime, just 40 days. A moment after receiving Imam's Isme Azam and his blessings and his farman can reach their ultimate goal within 40 days. If we were the daring people and challenging people, then one can say, why even 40 days? One can reach that elevation within 7 days. Because All those levels are within you. Only thing a mu'min has to do, believe in Imam's Farman, believe in Imam Ismi Azam, and then believe and practice. When they do that, and if they have purified themselves of all those conditions that Imam has given, he can reach that level within 7 days. Okay, now having said that, maybe this first level in 7 days, but there are other levels after that. But just to reach that light, it does not require lifetime. A moment can do it in a short time, and then he can continue his journey to become one with Imam. Because there are different levels, even within Ruhaniyat. So now we do understand 50,000 a year. Let's come back to your second question. If the question was asked because we think that some of our relatives passed away without having the true understanding of our tariqah. If that is the question, our ancestors, our families, or our other Ismailis, if they believed and they followed the tariqah, even without the knowledge, because Imam is so merciful, I'm sure Imam has given them some kind of levels. He would not have left them on the bottom of the clock. What does it mean, bottom of the clock? So let's just think for a second. The 12 o'clock on the top of the clock is the highest level. So when we come down on this earth, we are sitting right at 6 o'clock on the bottom. It will be easy to imagine and understand. We are sitting right at 6 o'clock. Even if they did not have the knowledge, but they were good Ismailis, good believers, they would have notched up to, let's say, number 5. Number 5 is not where Imam Didar is. Let's say they were really good and they did a lot of bandagi, still without the knowledge. They may have notched up to number 4. Still there is no Didar there. So if you take the clock, 12 o'clock, and then just put all your numbers, put a 3 and 9 on each side, and if you draw a line from 3 to 9, Didar is on 9 and 3 line and up. Everything underneath, you are getting closer, but you're not there yet. So even at 5 o'clock, you are 1 step closer to Imam. 4 o'clock, you are 2 steps closer to Imam, but there is still no Didar. A mu'min has to be at least at number 3. So he can be at the fine line where he can see above and have the Didar and still live in this world. And that is the first level I'm talking about. The one can reach that first level fairly quickly. Because just going from 6 to 5, only thing you have to do is just believe and do good deeds. That's it. Do some more ibadat, you are on number 4. And work a little bit more harder, just a little bit more harder, and you can push yourself living in this world with a little bit of knowledge to 3, where you can have a Imam's Nur, and we like to call that first light. The very first light you can receive at that fine line right there, at that point. And we will talk about in some other time, what about the 9 on the other side. We will talk about that. Alright, so at number 3, that's where you are, and you can reach there fairly quickly. Now, if a mu'min was really strong in his belief and said, no, I'm not satisfied with that number 3. I want it to be even closer to the Imam. Then what you would have to do? Work a little bit more harder, have a lot of knowledge now. Because knowledge is the key to improving your soul. And I remember one of the Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farman, ilm wali ru darja ba darja upar jayengi. It will notch up step by step. Kaun si soul? Ilm wali soul. The one with the true knowledge can reach there faster than one without the knowledge. Why is that? If a person has some knowledge of a business, his success rate will go up. If you are doing a business, maybe you will get lucky and you still make it. But then you are just saying, I may get lucky. So it may happen or it may not happen. But if you have the knowledge of the business, you will set up quickly your business and you will start making profit. All right. That is the knowledge of Imam that will take you to those steps very, very quickly. And of course, you still need that belief, you still need that Ismi Azam, you still need that Imam's Farman. And then you have to practice and get to that level. All right. So, that brings us to those people who have left, have worked hard, but without the knowledge. Right? So we are worried about them. That is a good thing, that we think of them. And believe me, as you improve in yourself, and every single time you think of them, they notch up. Just thinking of them. You haven't done anything yet. You haven't even prayed for them yet. Just because you thought of them, and because you have improved within yourself, you are taking them with you. And this is just the first level of knowledge. Let's come to the second level of knowledge. A true mu'min, the one who has elevated himself, that he has become Ayalullah, the family of Allah, or family of Imam, and we are spiritual children of Imam, or if they have become Wali Allah, friend of the Imam. If you are the friend of Imam, what kind of say so you have on some of the decision that Imam makes? Remember, you are the friend of Imam. So when you call your friend and say, I need a favor, I'm sending this girl over there or this boy over there, he doesn't know anything, give him a job and then train him. He'll be okay. He will say, what? Go ahead and send it. Just because you said so. So when you think of those relatives and then you call upon your friend, because you have brought yourself to the level where you're not only the family of Imam, but you are a friend of Imam, then you can call on him and say, so and so, I'm afraid that he or she had not made it to the level. Do me a favor, bring him or her to that level. And it is done because he is your friend.
So there is a tasbih for this one. When you're calling upon your friend, Ya Rafiq Ala, oh my most elevated friend.
Ya Rafiq Ala.
Beautiful.
That's mentioned in memoirs, right? The companion on high. It was the hadith of the Prophet. He wanted to be joined with the Rafiq al-Ala, the companion on high.
Yes. Okay. So, again, let's come back to our prayers, or when we take Nandi, or when we take dua for a Rawani member. If you remember Chandra's Farman, what Malaba says, I wish that there will be no Ismaili child, a moment that passes away sinful. And then he continues, I want you guys to recite Salawat so you may not pass away sinful. It is upon each individual and upon us to take our soul to that level. But when we reach there, unlike worldly matters, in the world, when we are successful in business, we hide those secrets, we don't tell anybody. Because we don't want anybody to come in our competition. In Ruhaniyat, it is a little bit different. When a person reaches to that level, only thing he does and worry about is others, not for themselves. There's a huge difference between the world and spirituality. Again, in the world, you wanted to hide your secret, your business trade. But when it comes to Ruhaniyat, you wanted to share those secrets and you wanted to make sure that your friends, your family, your Ismaili Jamaat comes with you. They are with you. And they are also elevated. Every one of them. So, moment when they crosses the number 3 and notches up to number 2, and inshallah number 1, at that point they are no longer praying or going to ibadat or going to Jamaatana for themselves. They are only going there for others. So they sit in Jamaatana, they sit in ibadat, they sit between those other Ismaili Bhai and Bahan, and what they do? They pray for them. They wanted to make sure everybody he or she looks at are with them. They wanted to make sure they all are with him and they all wanted to go together. Because otherwise, like we said in our previous class, it would be pretty boring just sitting there by yourself. Right? You wanted to have all your friends, your Jamaat, your family with you. Again, come back to the Farman. It says that I wish that you will not die sinful. So recite Salawat so you may become stronger. Meaning, you become so strong that not only your own soul, but you can shoulder all the other people that you want to take with you. That would be up to you now. You could be stingy and not take anybody. Or you can be generous and take, why not 100, 1,000, and become a Kashti and Nijat. Or become like a peer, Anand Karori. Why not? Because there is no limitation there. There's not a problem that we are going to run out of space or anything. So you become that. See, we are no longer talking about the peer had become this or the Awliya had become this. We are talking about simple, garib people like us. We can also reach to that level. And what does Imam Farman says?
You can go even higher.
That you can be like Pir Sadruddin, Pir, right? You can be like Isa, a Pegambar. You can be like angels. And you can go even further. Even further than that. What can be further than that? So Imam is giving you an invitation, a dawat to become like me. That's what Imam is saying. You can become just like me. Because in our tariqah, there is no limitation. There is no limitation. Matter of fact, a good Ismaili, a Momin Ismaili, an elevated soul will say, how about I give you everything and I become empty. in the worldly matter, we never will do that. We will never say, go and take my business, I'm going to become poor. We will never say that. But in the religion, in the spiritual world, Mu'min becomes so generous, he can and he would say this, that because for whatever reason you are handicapped and you cannot get to their level, how about I give you all my ruhaniyat and I become empty? What do you think Mullah will do for him? He will say, if you are that generous, I'm going to give you double.
Subhanallah.
There is a story of Luqman. Even though this story is not exactly as what we are talking about over here, but listen to it and see if you feel that way in this story. Did you guys know that at the time of Dawood, Allah had sent a wahi to Luqman and say, I choose you to become my messenger, my Pegambar. Luqman answers, if that is your command, labak, I'm ready to become a messenger. But if I have a free will, I wanted to say, I don't think I can shoulder that burden of being messenger. Can you forgive me? And look at how Allah replies back to him. He says, if that is the case, I will not put that burden on you. And we know Luqman was not a messenger or a pegambar, right? He replies, if that is the case, I will not put that burden on you. In return, I give you all the ilm wa hikmat.
Subhanallah.
And that's why we call him Hakim Luqman, right? The most wise man ever. He was wise. He said, I don't need to be a messenger to take your message forward. I cannot take the burden on my shoulder. I don't feel that strong. I'm weak. In return, Allah says, I'm going to give you all the ilm and all the wisdoms. Meaning, I'm going to give you everything that I have to you. And he became the wise man of all time. So again, come over here. If our Mu'min says that, Ya Mullah, because my brother, my sister, my mother, my grandmother, whatever, doesn't matter.
7 generations.
You can go as far as 7 generations back. And that's not the amazing part, going 7 generations back. What about 7 generations going forward? You can pray today and say, that does not matter what my children do, and their children, and their children, and their children. Ya Mullah, you look after them. You make sure that they are where I am today. But you have to elevate yourself to that level. You have to shoulder that burden and do the work and get yourself to that level so you can pray for them.
I want to mention here, this is a farman specifically for women. It's Akali Shah's farman. Mawla says that women are so capable that if they were to pray, they are capable of salvation of 7 generations back and 7 generations ahead. And he speaks to women only. So what does that mean? This is something we need to talk more later on. But it is spoken to women, not men.
Men can go home.
That's beautiful. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. That if you take that hard work upon yourself, and if you elevate yourself, then you should not have to worry about anybody, because you can take all of them as far as you want to take them. Now you are that leader among the family members. Back 7 generation and even forward 7 generation. You know, the children that you have not even met or know about. So your parents, your grandparents, and their grandparents, you can do all that. What about our friends? We talked about our family. What about our friends? What about that person that works with you in a mall, at your hospital, at your workplace? What about the customer that walks into your business? If you like that person, you can pray for them too. They're not even smiling. Because you recommended them, Allah will accept them. How powerful is that?
Mm-hmm.
So we can rest all our worries is because you have taken this path and say that I wanted to learn how can I help my soul and all the other souls. We are those people who have taken that responsibility on our shoulder. So I believe this answers your question. Ji.
What about people you don't like, or what about disbelievers or bad people? Because we could say we can pray for them, but in the Quran we have the example of Noah praying for one of his sons, and he says he's not your son, meaning he's not included with this. So what if you're praying for someone who you know did bad deeds, and you know that and I don't even mean let's say someone you know who's good, but sometimes they do bad deeds. I mean people who are, let's say, bad. Is your prayer wasted, or is it counted somehow?
Okay. So this is a good question and thought. And in history, we already have this example. So one of the person came to Mullah Ali and said, Ya Mullah, so and so and so and so is talking bad about you. कि उसके लिए आप बदुआ क्यों नहीं करते हैं?
Yeah.
Wish ill on him.
Yeah, Visha.
Why don't you wish ill on him? You know what Mullah Ali says? Even if I think of him, he will go to heaven. So I don't want to even think about him. बदवा तो दूर की बात है. You know, thinking or having a bad ill for someone is a further next question, secondary question. Mullah Ali say, even if I think of him, he will go to heaven. So normally what we do, we keep those people out of sight, out of mind. We don't think about them. And we should not. We should not. And I'm going to give you one more example. When people don't have a knowledge, so I wanted to give you an example of this. At the time of Sultan Muhammad Shah, one of his wife sued Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah for dasan money.
His first wife, right?
For dasan money. She was his first cousin also, from Chacha ki beti, his first wife. When he divorced her, she made a claim that all the money that Imam of the time is receiving as the son, I want a part of that as alimony. And this case goes into the court. Sultan Muhammad Shah refused, and case goes into the court. And the Jamaat, not having that much knowledge, because she was Imam's wife and a Ismaili, she came to Jamaat Nara and put satara. Now, Imam is going to court against his wife, but wife has put a satara in Jamaat Nara. And all the Ismailis are praying for her. Imam is saying, what's going on? You know, Imam Dunya Bane, he inquires, what is happening? Somebody tells Imam that she has put a satara in Jamaat and Jamaat is praying for her.
Because Mola was winning and he starts losing the case, and that's how he inquires.
So, Mola sends a message to Mukhi Sahib. Then when you guys do something like this, you are making your Imam lose. Because now Imam's hands are tied, because you guys are praying and saying then uski mushkil aasan karo. And because you are my wali, I have to accept that. Meaning, I have to lose. Do you guys want me to lose? And then they start the satara in the middle somewhere. They did not continue satara. That is a good example that how a good deed can go bad without the knowledge.
And it is recorded in our history.
Yeah, it's a recorded
And
case.
these are all documented.
Yeah, documented.
In the court of India. Yeah. Yes.
It's called BB Haji case.
Haji
It's
case.
online everywhere. You can read it.
So it's not.
So I guess if you don't know about someone, you should say leave it with God, or God, you know best
Yes.
to do what's with this.
That's why most time, look at our prayer for mushkil asan. We say, Ya Mola, hamari mushkil ko asan kar. We never say hamari mushkil ko khatam kar de.
Remove. No.
Just mushkil ko asan kar de. Because when a mushkil comes on us, a trial comes on us, it is also a blessing, so our sin can be wiped out. Or he wanted to give us elevation, so he does what? He gives us a test, and test is never easy. If you don't take this test, you cannot go from first grade to second grade. You have to take a test. If you want a job, you have to go through the interview process. So that is a test, and we say, Ya Mola, tumhari mushkil ko aasan kar. So when we don't know about somebody or something, just leave it to Allah. Because we don't know. Just leave it to Allah. You know, you can always say, Ke Ya Mola, look after him. That's it. Just look after him. Because we don't know what's going on, right? Maybe Imam has different plan for him.
Do whatever is best for him.
Do whatever is best for him. I like that. Ya Mola, do whatever is best for him. So this was one of the examples that we have to be careful how and when we are praying and who we are praying for. We have to be very careful. Because you have that power to tie up Mola's hand.
And that brings us to our last class, because you have Mominin ka Noor. When you have Noor, you can share with people, right? And that's how you have power.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about in the 57:12, that they are saying, please share your Noor with us. So Mominin has that power because they are holding or have the Noor of Imam in them. They can directly help the people who have left behind. Even sometimes they are asking, or sometimes they are not capable of asking, meaning they have already passed away.